Philadelphia. I'm not used to living the good life. Always used to living at the bare minimum was always my kind of speed. Until recently, that is. My name is Miguel Parkley, and let me just say, living in New York City had its perks, even if it had been in projects. Easy access to food, usually delis, fast food places, and supermarkets were all well within walking distance. Entertainment was never far, no matter where you were in the city. Hopping onto a bus or train, or even if you're feeling real fancy and have some extra money, you catch a city cab. However, the bad always outweighed the good. Whether it be hearing obnoxiously loud individuals making a ruckus at night, the occasional roaches you would have to deal with within the not too greatly kempt apartment buildings, or something as simple as speaking differently than the others despite being the same skin color as them. Even something as traumatic as hearing someone scream for their loved ones as gunshots would silence them. I suppose I should say, city life is only like this when you live in the projects or the ghettos. I'm sure in the more fruitful buildings down at 7th and 6th Avenue, between 80th and 30th Street downtown, living is far better. After all, you've got Central Park and other places to enjoy wonderful scenery and beautiful people. Regardless, I didn't have the money to move down there, so I decided maybe the city life was no longer for me. I looked into some suburban areas outside of the city, even outside of the state. I heard I could find some cheap homes that would still be a mile better than living in my small apartment. My credit may not have been the best, but I was still hopeful. A friend of mine told me about a town I had never heard of before, down in Philadelphia. It was called Apple Leaf Ridge, and upon looking on some real estate websites, I couldn't find a damn thing about the place. I thought she was messing with me, but no. She told me the place was quite real, and that she drove past it on her way back from vacation with her extended family. I was skeptical at first. Anyone would be if they couldn't find any information on this mysterious town. But she sent me the address, and I decided, fine, I'll go check it out. So I did. And boy, was this place beautiful. It took me a while, driving through sketchy back roads in the forest with no damn streetlights to accompany it. I was just lucky the sun was still up. This place would be pitch black at night. But anyways, I finally found the place, and by God, it really was beautiful. White houses with black tile rooftops, front yards and backyards for in case you've got children who play outside, or if you've got a hyperactive dog. It was a gated community with flowers peppering all next to the sidewalks, it even seemed like, and it all seemed too rich for my blood. I decided, without even giving it a chance, I would just leave. I drove off back around those twisty and sketchy back roads and realized I was lost. Nothing was recognizable as I was coming back, and I'm usually very good at making a mental note of my surroundings. The trees seemed like they hung lower now. Animals that I had seen before completely disappeared. My paranoia was screaming that something was definitely wrong, but the realist in me knew that this was just a case of pareidolia. The road isn't out to get me. Next thing I knew, I drove right back up to the entrance of the town. The sign's still there in its perfect condition. Welcome to Apple Leaf Ridge, Philadelphia. I pulled out my phone to see if I could call my friend, ask her how the hell she got out of this place, but my phone seemed dead for some reason. I could have sworn I charged it to 100% before I left. Sure, I was listening to some music earlier, but that can't drain 100% of my battery. It was only like 3 songs. I sighed and knew what I had to do. I had to go into this town and disturb the peace because some city boy got themselves lost. I was self-conscious about it, but I wouldn't let some feelings of anxiety stop me from getting back home. I drove to the gate, confused on how I was even supposed to get it open or who would open it for me. "Excuse me," I heard a voice call out. "You must be the new resident we were told about. Come on in, come on in." I was dumbfounded. Why did he say I was a new resident he heard about? Surely he's got the wrong person. No. Actually, I'm just here to get directions out of here," I told him. "Out of here? What do you mean? You live here now. You gotta get to your house, and you gotta get it all set up. Go talk to the landowner. He'll set everything straight, I'm sure," he told me. I decided that I wasn't going to continue to talk to him about whether or not I lived here. I know I don't live here. I drove in hesitantly and noticed from my peripheral vision the man was watching me the entire time. I purposely made sure to not look at him, feeling my stomach already churn into a nauseated state. If I looked at him, I was afraid I'd see something unsettling, or he would get the wrong idea and continue to try to talk to me. The town looked even more beautiful on the inside. This place was starting to look like millionaires would live here. This place is nowhere within my price range. Eventually, through the beauty, I found the landowner's building. I parked my car in one of the few parking spaces available in the empty parking lot, and I hesitantly got out my vehicle and walked up to the building. I went to grab for the doorknob, but the door already opened. "Hello there, friend. You must be the newest resident, aren't you?" he asked me. No, I'm not the new resident here. What the hell? This is like the second time someone said this to me. I said this sheepishly with a chuckle, hoping that I could establish some form of nice guy getting annoyed kind of vibe. "Oh, don't worry about that. Come with me and I'll explain it all to you. It's how our residents usually are to newcomers anyways," he told me. I felt annoyance flaring up deep within me. I'm not a new damn resident. Hell, I've never even came here before in my life. I hesitantly sat down in a chair in his office as the man sat across from me. He was a bald man wearing a black suit. He had these strangely deep blue eyes, and he was tall, not taller than me, but tall enough to be a bit intimidating. "Look, sir, we have everything already set up for you. All you need to do is just use the keys in your pocket to open the door to your new home. Home 357, your wife is there waiting for you and—" "No," I interrupted. No. I do not live here. I don't have any keys to my new place. I don't have a wife. Hell, my last girlfriend was at prom 12 years ago, and I'm pretty sure she married one of my other friends. This narrative you're creating for me doesn't exist. Stop, I demanded. I stood up and dug in my pockets to show him there was nothing there. I shoved my hands in my pockets and paused as my blood ran cold. I couldn't believe it. "You kidding me?" I asked. "No, sir, not kidding you." What the fuck? I threw the key down, not even wanting to look at it as it hit his desk, and I ran out. I heard the man behind me give chase as I shoulder bashed the door open and slammed it behind me. I ran to my car and opened it up, jumping inside and throwing the car into reverse as I ran over grass and flowers and even almost hitting someone. I proceeded to speed down the street. It was at this point I noticed everyone was standing on the sidewalks, watching me speed away, but I didn't dare look at any of their faces. I saw the gate closed and slammed the gas as I drove straight through it, the gate being more durable than I thought as my car sputtered and slowed down. I heard a voice call out to me, "You should get going, son." I looked to my left and see an older-looking, balding man holding some blue bags tell me, "Better that you get out of here." And so, without a second thought to agree, I turned and sped off. It's been hours now, and I've been lost in these back roads. Trees seem to never end. I'm running out of gas, and I need to get home. Can't call anyone or do anything. I need a pit stop. So, I see a town up in the distance, down the road, and drive over to it. It looks like they're repairing a gate, it seemed like, and saw some damage about the street and tire tracks off in the distance. Jeez, who's in such a hurry to destroy a nice gate like that? This place seemed familiar, but it didn't matter. I needed gas. The residents seemed friendly enough. They opened the gate and waved to me, not saying anything, though. I had this compulsion to wave back, so I did. I drove in and noticed how beautiful this place was. I drove and just relaxed. I saw an old man walking alone on one of the beautiful sidewalks carrying 2 blue bags. He looked over his shoulder and stared at me. I rolled down my window after stopping my car to ask him directions, but he spoke first. "Welcome back. I suppose you're here to see your wife after being gone for so long." I smiled as I leaned back in my seat, staring forward. Yeah, my wife. Feels good to be home. It'll be great raising my family here in Apple Leaf Ridge.